Alrighty, hello inmates. Welcome to week 229A, I believe. This is Rev here with my second episode here on the pod. And my prompt for this week was given by the wonderful Octo. And the prompt is Regrettable Sidewalk Chalk Art. I'm just gonna jump into it. Scott, one 6-year-old boy called to the other, "Bring the chalk over here." "Okay, Michi." Scott grabbed the box of sidewalk chalk and hurried over to his friend. "What do you want it for?" "We should make a crime scene," Michi said, about to burst from excitement. "I'll lay down, then you outline my body with the white chalk." Michi got down and sprawled his arms and legs away from his body. For extra effect, he stuck out his tongue and rolled his eyes back. Scott laughed at his friend's face of death before grabbing the white chalk piece from the box. "What kind of murder was it?" Scott asked as he drew around Michi's body. "It was a vicious attack, with blood everywhere." As soon as Scott finished, Michi jumped up and grabbed one of the pieces of red chalk. "You grab one too, Scott. We'll draw scratches and bites on the body with blood coming out." And Scott laughed at that too. Michi liked making Scott laugh. That was one of his favorite things to do, because that meant Scott was happy. Scott didn't laugh much at home. At least, that's what he told Michi. Scott's dad yelled a lot, so Michi always tried to make him laugh when they played. They continued drawing and adding details to the crime. Broken glass drawn in blue, spilled lemonade in yellow. They quickly lost track of time, not a care in the world between the two boys for now. "Mischief, Scott, come in for dinner. We're having lasagna," Michi's mom called from the doorway of their house. The two boys dropped the chalk where it was and ran inside to the table. Michi's mom chuckled upon seeing the somewhat gruesome scene now on her driveway. "Whoa, slow down, boys," Michi's dad said already at the table. "You two need to wash your hands first." Suddenly, moving much slower, they made their way to the bathroom to do as directed. "I'm glad Michislav found Scott. Those two are good for each other." "You're such a softie, Noah," Michi's mom said. Noah began sputtering some excuse, but she quickly kissed her husband. "That's why I love you." "I love you too, Claudia." Noah looked at his wife with admiration. "Black," Michi said as he and Scott re-entered the dining room. "That's gross, Dad. Don't do that when Scott's here." "It's okay, Michi," Scott said quietly. "I don't mind." Noah and Claudia shared a quick but sad look. Claudia returned the attention to the dinner on the table in front of them. "Mischief, will you say grace?" "Yep."
Hey, this is Octa with Judge Comments. I don't really have a lot to say about this. It's just a fun, cute little piece. Red was the other one who did something this week, and she did a creepy little horror piece, which was fun, but I just got a kick out of the, stealth fanfiction that Rev turned in. I thought it was fun. And it's, cute. A good time. I don't really have anything else to say about it, but I hope you liked it, so keep that fire burning.
I wrote that. Okay. So, let me just start off by saying, for those who don't know, that was a Teen Wolf fanfic about the two main characters, Scott and Styles, as when they were kids. And it's yeah. I think at the time that I had just been rewatched, I was either in the middle of my rewatch or I had just recently finished my rewatch of the Teen Wolf series, which I watched for the first time when I was in high school. 7-8 years ago now. Weird to think about. Anyway, and it was fun for me to do this. It was the thing that came to my mind, just because Styles' dad, who Styles is Michi, or Michislav, or Mischief, he's referred that way in this. Because Styles' full name is Michislav Stalinsky, and so Styles is a nickname off of his last name. But he didn't start going by that until he was a teenager, or at some point. I'm not exactly sure when, but it wasn't when he was a kid. But he was a mischievous child, which is why his mom nicknamed him Mischief. And I imagine that, because Mieczysław could be a difficult name for a 6-year-old to pronounce. I imagine that Scott would shorten it to Michi. And with that in mind, as I was writing this, when Scott is speaking, Michi I spelled it Michie. But when I guess not speaking, because his dad calls him his full name Mieczysław, and his mom calls him Mischief. But when the POV shifts from the boys to the parents, I switch the spelling of Michi from that Michie to Mieczzy, which is how the Michi in Mieczysław is spelled, because it's a Eastern European name, Slavic name. That's the word I want. It's a Slavic name. And so that was just a neat little thing that I put in there with that. Teen Wolf is a very fun, very silly TV show, and I do recommend anyone who likes to have a good time that they watch it, because it is a good time. It's not a good show in that the writers leave a lot of things unexplored and don't, at least in my personal opinion, they don't flesh out all the ideas in a satisfactory way to me. But it makes it a really great playground, a really great sandbox if you want to write fanfic for it. It's kind of right in that spot, and so it's just an enjoyable little romp. It's got 5 or 6 seasons to it. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend it. It is very silly. The fight scenes are hilarious because of how bad they are, but it's a delightful time, and I love it a lot, and so that's why I decided, when I read the prompt, regrettable sidewalk chalk art, in my mind I've been thinking about Teen Wolf a lot. I was like, I gotta do Styles and Scott as kids, making a nice little murder scene. Yeah, I guess I forgot to read the title. I titled my piece A Gruesome Scene. Sorry about that. Let me just throw that in there now. And so, yeah, that is it for my commentary on the story. The next prompt, the prompt that I gave for my group the next week is, I don't call myself a hero, because calling yourself a hero makes you a self-mythologizing, narcissistic autocrat. And that is a quote from my dearly beloved Hobie Brown, the Spider-Man known as Spider-Punk from the Across the Spider-Punk movie. I think Hobie's fantastic, and I think that is that quote of his is there's a lot you can do with it, and it's pure gold, man. So I will be signing off now. That's it for me. Keep that fire burning, y'all, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week or weekend.
The Cellblock Scorch is a production of Stellacore, an independent group of nerds sharing their obsessions with the world. We can be reached at thestellacore@gmail.com, through comments on your podcast platform of choice, our Instagram, Stella_core, and at our YouTube, also called Stellacore.
Feel free to check out our other productions on our YouTube channel or our cosplays on Instagram. If you would like to support our creative endeavors, you can give a one-time tip to the Kofi of the writer of your favorite Scorches, or check out our Patreon, linked in the show notes. There, you can access the winning Scorches and episode transcripts for free, or sign up for Spark level support for $5 a month to gain access to all of the Scorch submissions.